Hello. Can you guys hear me? Can someone unmute themselves and
Yeah,
let
I can hear you.
Yes, Mansi.
I'm audible?
Yes, you are.
Oh, I can't hear actually. Just give me a moment.
But your voice is very low.
Good evening, everyone. Hi, Mansi. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening, Rajesh.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
Rajesh.
Aradhya.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Yes. Go ahead, Mansi.
For some reason, I can't hear back anybody.
Try from your computer instead of connecting from phone.
Hello. Hi, Abhinami. Hi, good evening,
Hi
everyone.
Rajesh.
Hi, Rajesh. Good evening.
Good evening. Mansi, I'm assuming you are in charge, right?
Actually, Mansi is in charge as a but I can confirm that.
Okay.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, Mansi. Go ahead.
Okay, fine. Sorry for the technical glitch. Okay.
Right.
Welcome to you, Rajesh, and good evening, everyone. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. And on behalf of the Iron Lady community, I welcome you all to this last session of 50, which we were holding, and for the theme for the month of April. And the theme which we were following is how to sell your ideas. And Rajesh have had, many sessions on this. That we have had the Q&A session and the skit also on this month. So today we will be talking about the failures. We thought, it will be great. We do not get the success overnight, and it takes a lot of failures to actually get to the place that we all of us, where are. And we today we are bringing few of our iron ladies who will be sharing their experiences, their failures, what actually made them to reach the point where they are at the moment. So, Rajesh, please allow me to share my screen.
Yes, of course. I'm not. Am I the host? I'm not the host.
No, I am the host. I am just taking your permission.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. Can you see my screen now?
No, we can't.
No. Okay.
No.
Okay. Share my screen. Okay. Only host. Okay. Is it visible now?
No, not yet.
gosh, what's happening? Just allow me one more time, please. Okay, fine. It should come now. Yeah. So
Now it's visible.
now it is visible. All right.
Yes.
Okay. I'll put to the slide mode. And as we say that, we are talking about the failures and what actually help us to reach to the point where we are at the moment. And for many young people, while we are trying to reach that success point or reach to the goal wherever we want to go, there are many slips in between that happens, and I'm sure that it happens with all of us. So and it is very easy to give up, but and things don't work out, which usually I think happens to all of us. So it is not something that it happens to few of us, and we always talk about success. So let us hear from couple of our colleagues or our friends from the Iron Lady community. And I bring to you, first of all, I want to introduce Abhirami Babuji, who was my buddy also while we were doing this session. And over to you, Abhirami. Abhirami is AVP Barclays, and she has a decade plus experience in the software testing, and she has worked with all the fantastic banks that, Citibank, Deutsche Bank, to name a few. On personal front, she is also juggling with the work. COVID-19 has brought this work from home for all of us, and I think for females life has become even more tough, and she's also juggling different with different demands from the workplace as well as from the personal front. So over to you, Abhi. Please share your experience as to while you reached AVP, what actually and how many failures you actually experienced.
Mansi, thank you for the beautiful slide which you have put in front of us. It's very nice to see myself here. Okay, first of all, hi to everyone. I'm Abhirami Babuji. So whatever it says there, AVP, Barclays, everything is just nothing. I'm a fintech professional, and I generally handle testing and delivery management. That's what it is. And to reach this, there have been a lot of glitches. I won't say, on a positive note, let's not speak as failures, challenges, I would say. I was a campus recruit to start with. An organization, I don't want to specifically say because that's where the trouble started. So I don't want to tell that organization name. So I started as a campus recruit in 2006, and my life was quite smooth. I was learning, I was flying, and I was doing whatnot. I was enjoying my career, and life also happened side by side. My career was smooth and everything was nice. I was very much comfortable working with that organization. At certain point, like after 10 years of working with them, associating with them, and doing great things with the organization, at some point my promotion and the recognitions which I should have got was delayed or denied, to be frank. So you would have heard about people who are struck by certain failures or certain emotional issues or certain incidents. I'm a person who was struck by a word. When I sat for a discussion with my manager, or that time who was my boss, the word which he used was, I was rusted. I was like investing myself for certain product for 10 years. I was an SME for that product. I have launched 3 of the product in Indian market. I was like one of the top person that time, and I was denied my progression, saying just like I was rusted. When I was explaining about my career experience, I said this word, comfortable. That's where the problem started, because I started getting comfortable with whatever I was doing. My job was not challenging to me anymore. It was like easy peasy for me. This one, I know everything. That kind of attitude got developed in me, which I didn't actually notice. But this word struck me very badly. Actually, it even impacted my work morale. I actually moved myself from the project because my promotion was delayed for quite 4 years, which is not the right thing for any person who is career aspirant. So I still struggled for 4 years to get what I actually have to get. Then I decided this is not working out, let me move out. I moved, but still, that word was there in me. I moved into, instead of working for credit cards, I moved into investment banking, and I moved into automobiles lending. I was just jumping from one place to another. I thought that would give me the completeness of whatever I'm looking for, and I will get whatever I want. But that didn't happen. I was just jumping from places to places, but it didn't happen. Whatever I was looking for me, my career track, which I had in mind, went out of track. So I was not happy and giving myself 100% to whatever I was doing. So that also was taking a little bit of toll on me. So I started analyzing why this is happening to me. What went wrong? Where it went wrong? And this word rusted was keep on lingering in my mind. So where it went wrong? I started challenging myself. I started putting myself into diversifying myself, my knowledge. I did few certifications, which would help me in my technological perspective and also my career perspective. So I did few certification, and as always an iron lady, they say that you should apply for a position which is one level or two level above to what you are currently. I just give this a shot with Barclays, like, and it is into investment banking, but that is not my actual profile. I just tried and I wanted to challenge myself, and I just wanted to prove that I can do it. I'm not interested. I can technologically improvise myself. I can upscale myself. I just tried this and I got it. And today, like, I'm 1 year with Barclays as AVP, running the RFT, like risk finance and technologies, software product testing and delivery management. Actually, I support UK projects, and that's it. I would say, like, sometimes in life, certain challenges or failures happen, and we should not get stuck there. We should analyze why it went like that. You should take that as a just as outcome, whether it is a positive outcome, whether I get a promotion or I don't get a promotion, or whether I get a bad remark, whatever it is, it's just a outcome of whatever I did, whatever I performed. So I just, from that point, I started taking that as an outcome, and I analyze, even if it is a promotion or a successful interview, whatever it is, success or failure, I just take that as an outcome and analyze both. If I succeed, I analyze that. If I fail, I analyze that too. I try to improvise wherever I do good, I do bad. There also I try to concentrate how I can improvise where I'm lacking. And two things which I wanted to share with people are, whenever you undergo some kind of issue or a failure, don't get stuck there. Just move on from there. If you feel that enough is enough, put a full stop for that. Whatever is happening, put a full stop there and try to start a new thing. Every day is new, then just go ahead and start a new thing. And I think that that's what will make you, go forward, instead of staying there and keep on moaning, complaining to everyone, saying that I didn't get promotion, I didn't get the recognition. Enough is enough for that. You can invest some time for certain things, not for failure for quite some time. You should decide what is the time frame which you can put for this kind of things, and you should move on. And you should know where you are investing. And one thing I analyzed is I was investing myself more into the organization instead of investing on myself. Like, I would stretch myself 16 hours, 18 hours for the company's growth or for a product launch. Instead, if I would have put 1 hour daily for my technological upskilling or something, I would have been in a much more better position today. So I always feel that. So you should know where you are actually investing yourself. And the other point which I would make is always, have a positive attitude towards anything. Even if something negative happens to you, you should have a positive approach towards it. Yeah, my manager said, Rusted, yeah, it took a lot of me, but I took it in a positive note at some point. And I didn't say the day one when he told me, I took it in a positive note. But at some point, I realized, okay, he's saying this. Why did he say that? What made him say that? And I'll make sure no one else uses such word on me from today. So that's the attitude I had, and I tried my level best, and I think I'm doing my best for myself today. So that's what it is. Thanks for all your time and listening to my.
Thank you so much, Abhi,
Sorry.
for this sharing your wonderful experience. And as we say that, success is stumbling from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. So I think, and you have actually learned lessons from whatever you have gone through, whatever you have faced, and that's the reason I think you are where you are. And I'm sure the audience would have a lot of questions to ask from you, but a request to the audience, please hold on to your questions because we'll be taking up those towards the end. And thanks a lot, Abhi, again
Thank
for
you,
this
Mansi.
wonderful sharing your experience. And now moving on to our another Iron Lady community, I want to welcome Rimchim Mukherjee, who is the Chief Business Officer at Kaya Group of Companies. Having 13 plus years of experience in business development, brand management, expansion through franchising, distribution, and whatnot. I mean, she is so multi-talented, and by heart, she is also a classically trained singer and a dancer. So singing, I have heard her singing, and also she has good oratory and communication skills. So I welcome you, Rimchim. Over to you. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mansi. As I told you earlier, also it might be it's torrentially raining here, so there might be some kind of network glitch sometime. Maybe I would let me know when that network glitch happens. If it does,
so far so good. You can just go on. My God.
Wonderful. So first of all, welcome everybody to this session. This session feels like family now. I have an extended Iron Lady family for over I think more than 6 months now, and it's been in one simple word, it's been a fantastic journey compared to all the sessions, Rajesh sir's guidelines, the huddles, the master classes, all of that is a very warming experience, and I try to attend as much as possible. Today's topic struck me really hard because as a sales personnel, every day is a failure. Almost every day we are rejected by some or the other client. So my life, if you talk about the 13 years of my professional life, they have been more of a failure than success. Success is probably counting on fingers. There have been multiple failures on the professional and the personal front. So I'll rather talk about 3 major failures in my life and see how my journey progressed from there. So when I started my career with TKV Solutions. It's a network security partner, channel partner organization, which is connected to all the network security vendors and is responsible for hardware and software sellings to various organizations. I started off with a lot of inside sale work. So the first failure that came in was in calling up somebody, and in sales most of the time you are rebuked by the person at the other end. ये कोई समय है कॉल करने का, कल कॉल करना, परसों कॉल करना, आप लोग कॉल कर करके परेशान कर देते हो. These are things that the inside sales team is habitual to listening on a daily basis. So my first failure came from there only, where I used to feel very humiliated and insulted within myself as to how do I portray myself in front of somebody, how do I portray my products and services in front of somebody who is so demeaning or who is so insensitive to what the other person has to say. It's the same feeling that most of us give to the ICICI credit card call people and bank loan call people and all of that. So that same feeling I was at the receiving end, and it felt really bad. That was my first failure. I didn't know how to deal with it, and honestly, my daily reports were not going so well because I wasn't performing good in the calls. I decided to change my strategy. So what I decided was, early in the morning, when I start my day, I'll start with the follow-up calls of the positive prospects that I've had so far. So that used to set me up on a very good note, because these are people who I'm already speaking to, who treat me with respect, who have already had conversations with me. I have developed a rapport with them. So when I start my day good, half of the work is already done. And then by 3-4 hours of doing work, then in the second half, when I've had my lunch, I used to tell myself बड़े हंसते हुए कि लंच खा लिया, अब गाली भी खाते हैं. So my second half used to be devoted to the gali khana wala prospecting, where I had to call up unknown people. So that is how I overcome my challenge of the first level, wherein how do I handle my failures of daily productivity in inside sales. It was only a re-strategization of the kind of work that I had to do, nothing else, no rocket science. Then that work happened smoothly, but I started getting very impatient in that kind of work, and I wanted to progress into something further. I used to see these field rock star cool sales guys and girls in their suits and in their formals, going out, having meetings, having the time of their life. They used to punch out for a meeting and be gone for the day, and that's a fact with all sales guys. So I used to think that that's a lovely life. Yeah, I need to achieve that. But I was doing so well in my inside sales role now that nobody was giving me a chance to go into outside sales. So what I did was, I followed an advice that my husband gave. My husband used to, still till date, he always tells me one thing, कि अपने साथ जब भी आप कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड में उतरो तो एक मक्खन का कटोरा लेके उतरो, जो भी सामने आए उस पे मारते चलो. So ego appeasement of your seniors, लगता है कि it is a wrong thing, but it is not actually a wrong thing. If you actually praise somebody who's senior to you and you talk to him about the positives, I'm not talking about makhan marna in a negative sense. I'm talking about positive reaffirmation to your seniors about the things that they're doing right. So when I used to talk to my team lead who used to go out and handle meetings, I used to tell him, you are so fabulous on calls and you're so fabulous. I wonder how you must be in person. मतलब आप इससे ज़्यादा क्या करते होगे मीटिंग में, कैसे करते होगे, मुझे देखना है. I need to see that. Now, then once I got the chance, I continuously badgered him for 2, 3, 4 times. Then one day he said, "Chal, you don't have a work, you are done for the day." I said, "Yeah, I'm more or less done for the day. The report will take me 15, 20 minutes. I can always go home and make it." So he said, "Chal, tere ko dekhna tha na, let's go to this meeting." That became a habit. Now every week, twice or thrice, I was going out. Now when I was going out, I used to see the meetings. I used to take down minutes. I have always been good at communication skills. So I brought that into picture. What I used to tell my senior, let me prepare the minutes of the meeting. You know, because I love doing work, and I've never shied away from doing extra work. So I used to tell him, let me do this work. Let me do this, the minutes of the meeting and prepare them for you. So when I started preparing the minutes, now of course my 2 levels, 3 levels up bosses were also marked in that minutes of the meeting. They noticed that the language of my team leader had suddenly changed. Because earlier the team leader used to send the minutes in his own sense. Now he was copy pasting what I was doing, and I was doing it in a very fabulous communicative English. So he also noticed it, that there's something or the other going on. So usne internally pata kara ki what is the change that has happened. So then he got to know, okay, she's gone on the meetings and she's trying to do the minutes of it. वैसा normal रहा, चलता रहा for a good 6-8 months चलता रहा. One day my team lead changed his job to another one. Immediately that opened up the opportunity of one vacancy, and I did not lose the chance to apply for it, even though I had no experience prior in field sales. I was allowed to sit for the interview. I cracked the interview, and immediately after probably 1.5 years of inside sales, I was shifted into field sales. And once I went into field sales, the first time that it was said, they told me, I cannot take you out from inside sales, but then you will have to manage both the responsibilities, and I will not even increase your pay too much. I was okay, because I was very young at that time. Money didn't matter. What mattered to me was experience. What mattered to me was exposure. And I said okay to it. So I really slogged hard. I did both the works. I didn't give him a chance to complain, and I transitioned into field sales. And after 2 years of my career in that same company, I was completely into field sales, and I had outsourced the work of inside sales by hiring one of my juniors from my college. I said, she's a very excellent candidate. I have mentored her in college as well. So I handled both the possibilities, one of me transitioning into field sales, and the second of me providing a substitute for myself so that he doesn't feel my absence in the inside sales. So it was a win-win situation for everybody. But then that re-strategizing or the absolute correct strategy has to strike your mind. What needs to be done when? That spontaneity has to come, and that spontaneity will only come when you're thinking about career progression at every stage. Even when you are having a lunch with somebody, when you are having a collective lunch in your employee circle, they are your friends. That's good. It's good to take profit out of them. It's good to take advantage. It's good to make friends to take advantage out of them. And I don't mean it in a negative sense. Take the positives out of them. Speak to them about their work. Speak to them what they are doing. And that has helped me a lot. So that was my second failure overcome, when I wasn't able to transition into field sales, and this is how I overcame it. Then marriage happened. I went to Mumbai. I was working in Mumbai for a good 4 or 5 years. Life was going wonderful. I had a beautiful. I became a mother to a beautiful daughter. My life was beautiful. I was following my passion. I was following my sales also at the same time. I was doing some singing gigs, some anchoring gigs, and at the same time I was working in an event management company as the senior manager for corporate sales. So life was very good. And then something very disturbing happened on the personal front, where I had to break ties off with my husband. So that was a big setback in my life. Again, one of my major failures in the life was that I could not continue that relationship, and it ended on a very ugly note where I had to take legal action and all of that. That shook me up very badly on the professional front, because I had established a base for 5-6 years, and then all of a sudden I was absolutely in despair, and I was helpless, and I didn't know what to do. Somehow my parents helped me, and I got out of that situation. I re-established back myself to Delhi, where I am for the past 4 or 5 years now. When I came to Delhi, I had to start from scratch, because that event management company wound up it was a New York based event management company, and they wound up their operations in India. And when I came to Delhi, I had to come very suddenly. It had to be very sudden. I didn't have time for some personal reasons. That is a story of another time. So I couldn't exactly land a job. So I was here, I was jobless, and I was a single mother. And that was a huge challenge. I reached out to my network. I reached out to my friends, my colleagues, my ex bosses, my mentors. I reached out to everybody, and one of them got me a job in Fortinet. In Fortinet, again, it was a huge failure, because I had to start from scratch again. I did not come with that baggage of 6 years of experience. I did not come with that weightage, because it was an absolutely different industry. So I had to start from scratch, but I did not give up, because basically I'm a struggler at heart. So I started again from scratch. I said, no worries, let me build my life up again. This is a new chapter in my life. So I started that, going wonderful for 1.5 years. My regional manager was supremely supportive of me. Within I think 8 to 10 months, I was doing the lead generation and the inside sales of it. But within 8 months, I was promoted as the partner account manager for handling 15 channel sales partners for Fortinet. So I was doing fantastic. Again, life was all hunky-dory, very nice, very happy, in a very happy place. And then a big failure struck again. What was that failure? After having served in that company for 15 to 18 months, I guess, I was inappropriately given a proposition by my regional manager. There were only 2 girls in the Delhi team. One of them was already in a objectionable relationship with him. And when he got to know my status of me being a single mother and a divorcee, he tried. He inappropriately gestured. Now I had two options out of it. Either I report to him, and he's a veteran in the industry. I don't want to name him, of course. He's a veteran in the industry. So I had the option of either reporting to him, see to it that something or the other happens, and wait for something positive to happen for me. But then again, I spoke to my mentors, I spoke to my colleagues, I spoke, how do I handle this situation? Of course, I cannot tell it to anybody inside the system, because then rumors spread like wildfire, and they do more harm than they do good. So what everybody suggested to me was, he is an established person. He will get off it as a very in a very normal, peaceful manner. but you will be the one who's branded as a either a whistleblower or as a person who does not give in easily. And it's easy to say, it's very easy to say, stand up for what is right, and you know, always fight for victory and always do this and that. That sounds very good in ideals, but in practical life, you need to weigh the consequences and stand up when you feel the thing is right, when you feel everything is right in your position, and you have that kind of a social, financial, mental backup to be able to fight the war that you are planning to start. I did not have that energy because I had just started my career, again restarted. I did not have that energy, so I was not a coward for not standing up to him, but I gracefully exited from the company. I started looking at some other options, and as they say, everything that happens is a blessing in disguise. So here I was stuck at the partner account manager level. When I moved out of this organization, I got immediately the role of head of sales and marketing for a decently sized organization. It's a, I think, turnover of about 50 CR organization that time. I landed that role. So I, being a optimist, I always see the silver lining in everything. Even if something is going wrong, my tendency is to see the silver lining out of it. So that was the third biggest failure. I could have made a wonderful career out of Fortinet, but then that didn't happen. Then this head of sales role happened. After that, I transitioned again for a better prospect to Franchise India. Franchise India has so far been probably the best company that I've worked so far, because the growth was phenomenal for me personally. The growth was wonderful. But here I was stuck at a very professional, very sales related failure. Everybody who I used to speak to about product selling, my clients, they used to tell me, this is, I'm talking about last March. They used to tell me, madam, abhi to khud bach jaye, tabhi aapka product kharidenge, tabhi aapki consulting services kharidenge, abhi to khud hi bachne ka koi scope nahi hai. And I didn't know honestly what to say to that. As a salesperson, I was speechless. I didn't know how to convince him to purchase my product, because at the end of the day, my role is target driven. If I don't do targets, I miss out on my variables. So how now again a brainstorming had to happen, a re-strategizing had to happen. So what I did, I said, okay, fine, sir, I understand your empathy. I empathize with you. I understand your critical situation. Let us do one thing. I changed my pitch. What I told him, sir, actually, see, what happens is these campaigns are led for multiple people. There are a lot of people vying to fill up your spot. So what you can do is, if you are interested, give me 10% of it as a token amount. Okay. I'm not asking for the 100% of it, but give me 10% as a token amount, and sign an LOI with me at least. And don't sign the complete agreement. Sign a letter of intent that I'm willing to do this. And I also gave them the assurance that in case you are not pursuing this after the lockdown is over, I will refund this money back to you. So that gave them. This was an entirely new strategy. I was not selling my product. I was just booking my product with them. So that worked like wonders. I started booking a lot of offers. My chairman loved this strategy. I joined Franchise India as the national head. Within 8 months, I was promoted as the vice president for business development, because he and me were the only two people who were doing business development at that point of time. So that was how re-strategizing works in your life. So all of them started giving token amounts, and after 2 months, when the lockdown was lifted, by that time I had developed such a personal rapport with them, such a personal relationship with them, that not even a single person wanted a refund. They all wanted to go ahead. Yeah, now we are ready to pay the full amount. Things have eased up. Things have settled down. Now we are ready to go ahead. So it saved my job from fulfilling my sales targets at that time also, because I told my boss, look boss, money is a challenge right now, but I'm at least getting you token amounts and accounts. And this entire money, I promise, will come within 2 to 3 months when the lockdown is over and things are a little steady. So that is how strategizing has always worked. Going back to the board, re-strategizing, reinventing, either in personal relationships or in professional relationships. There is no other substitute for strategizing. You have to keep going back to the board. There is no fixed formula for success. Keep going back to the board. You face one failure, go back to the board. Start from square one. See where you can make a change and then make that change. fortunately for so far, now I'm doing pretty well in the current organization, and I'm waiting for my next failure to hit me so that inspiration strikes me again.
Thank you so much, Rinjim, for sharing your inspirational story. Even there is a lot that we all can learn from you. And one quote that I can remember, considering what all you shared, that when everything seems to be going against you, always remember that the aeroplane always takes off
Absolutely.
against the wind, not with it.
Absolutely. 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 You have to go against the tide.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Rimjim. And I'm sure our audience will have questions for you as well. But I just want to, in the interest of the time, let me move on to the other presenter, who is our own Midhu Luke. So she's management consultant.
Mansi, just give me a couple of minutes. So, does anybody have any specific questions for me? Because I'm not sure if there is anybody who's waiting for me for some questions, because I think we'd ask people to log in as well.
I am sure Rajesh, people would have questions for you. You can start typing in your questions in the chat box.
Yeah, if anybody has any questions for me, you can type in their questions. And anybody's challenge,
you can unmute yourself also.
If anybody has any questions, challenges, you're going through some difficulties in these times where you're getting affected because of the situations happening around you. Any of you going to, please you feel free to ask those questions right now. Okay.
Audience, you can raise your hand and I can perhaps unmute if you are not able to type in at the moment. What do you say, Rajesh?
Yeah, sure. That's just fine. So Jagrati is saying challenge of higher call. What is challenge of higher? What does it mean, Jagrati?
Hi, Rajesh. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead, Jagrati.
Yeah. I'm having a small unit of cold press expelling oils. And if the cost of these oils is a bit higher than the refined oils, and that is a big challenge for me for strategizing anything for marketing. So how to overcome it?
So now the thing you are saying is your product is superior.
Yes, it's superior, but its manufacturing cost is higher because of the least content of oil.
See, Jagrati, now I'll give you a parallel example, right? In the, I visited an aunt who showed me a beautiful agarbatti.
Oh.
I asked, what is the agarbatti? Why are you showing it so much? She says, no, this is a premium agarbatti made in Kashi. This is made in Kashi by some of the people who are really suffering there and all that. So it is really, something which is very, very exciting there and blah, 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 right? So, and the packaging and the way she showed it to me, I said, wow, I was never expecting that my aunt to show me that kind of an agarbatti, very high so-called quality and premium, and paying a very high amount, very so-called very expensive as well.
Yeah.
So now the idea here is to share this is to not look at the cost as much as to the positioning of what you talk about. Where can you position it? Don't look at it just as a common product that you can sell it everywhere. Positioning. Where can you position it? What can you talk about it in such a way that people look at it as a premium product? So premium products have been sold completely differently compared to other products as well.
Right.
Okay. So your branding and then the packaging and the way you position it, where do you look at it as a market? Which are the market segments to go after? All of this has to be thought through differently, Jagrati.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Rajesh.
And see, anyway, the entrepreneur sessions are happening on the Tuesday evenings. We should join those sessions.
Sure.
All the best.
Thank you.
Yes. Anyone else has any questions?
Audience, you can also unmute yourself and ask a question or challenge that you want to be addressed by Rajesh.
You have any specific questions for me, you can ask this. If you don't have any questions, that's perfectly fine. So all of you are attending the strategy meet day after tomorrow, right? Can I request all of you? See, I think many people are going through some tough situations right now in the with the second wave, right? can I request all of you to ensure that all of your batchmates from all your, all your batches attend the session on Saturday at 8 o'clock? Everyone, I think the people are going through a lot of challenges. Let us come together as a community this Saturday at 8 o'clock. Everyone, can I request everybody to ensure your batchmates attend the session, and also propagate this message in WhatsApp, in your Telegram groups, very, very aggressive. See, I'm looking at getting 1 or 2 more guests as well along with me to the session on Saturday morning. So where we will meet together as a community, kind of come together as a community to support each other strongly, much more strongly. Can I invite everybody to ensure that everybody knows? See, many people, what happens, they're not on WhatsApp, they're not on Telegram, so they don't look at it properly, they don't watch it properly. Can I request everybody to ensure right now itself, can you take a minute to say, reminder to attend the session on Saturday at 8 o'clock in the morning. And tomorrow again, I will send a small note, as a voice note as well. Ensure that everybody is there on Saturday morning at 8 o'clock. Because some people forget it and then they miss it out, and then they will never get the opportunity to meet everybody together in the strategy meets. Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much. Those of you who are not reminded, please ensure in your group of where you participate together with each other, please ensure everybody attends on Saturday. Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much. Okay, so great. Then I will meet all of you on Saturday morning at 8 o'clock. Okay, I'm also looking at bringing a special guest along with me, so we will all have some great fun on Saturday morning. Everyone, please put reminders, alarms, so that you're reminding all the people to be there on Saturday morning. Parul, I heard some good news. Somebody got a great job at 100% like and all that.
Yeah. In fact, we also heard about few people, in fact, few with Iron Lady team itself, and a few of them got the job outside.
Excellent, excellent.
We are continuously hearing good news. In fact, I have also started getting calls, Rajesh. I'm sharing with you.
Well done, guys. Well done. So I ask everyone to join Saturday morning at 8 o'clock. Okay, so let's
sure. Done from my side.
So stay together in these difficult times. It's really so many tough situations I've heard in the community itself. So it's really tough. So let's really stay together and then really be together. All right. Thanks so much, everyone. I will personally see all of you on Saturday morning at 8 o'clock. All right. Thanks so much.
Thanks a lot, Rajesh. So I'll just start sharing my screen again, and yeah. Oops. Can you see my screen? Are you able to see my screen?
Yes,
we are.
Yes.
Okay, so I welcome Midhu Luke, who is also a management consultant and workplace coach. She's a trusted business advisor with nearly 2 decades of experience. And, rather than me saying most of the things about her, let me just hand it over to her and share her experience of, what it took actually her to get where she is right now. Over to you, Midhu.
Thank you so much, Mansi. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
Okay. Thanks everyone for sharing your experience, and thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to speak. So in the interest of time, I will keep it short. And so I know that the topic that we are talking about here is our failures. Standing from a point where I've had a lot of failures and setbacks in my personal life, I wouldn't want to talk all about it right now. It might get me all choked up and emotional and might get nowhere. So I'll take some problem which is like not at all personal, but had a personal touch to it for sure. Coming from the point that, like I already said, I had major setbacks in life. Right. So I'll take such an incident and then, share what are my learnings and how I propagated through that. And yes, let me start off with my intro. I work with EY. I've got about 17 years of experience. And how did I get into coaching? That will come while I narrate my failure. Okay, so this was about 3 or 4 months ago, quite recent. And, there was someone who had the way that the company is structured, you work with people who are on site. So I work out of Bangalore, who work, I also work with people across the world, global delivery services. That's what I'm into. So there was this particular guy who came back after a sabbatical of like 6 months, 6 or 7 months. This guy had come back. He was supposed to have gotten promoted. This gentleman, he was supposed to have gotten promoted. And after the sabbatical, also, I guess he expected the promotion, is what I understand. That doesn't matter to me. But as soon as he hit the scene back, he started. So we used to have a good partnership till he went on the sabbatical. And once he came back, immediately he comes like a He-Man onto the scene and like, excavating stuff and trying to see what can go do, what can be better, and what are the lacunae in the processes and stuff like that. And possibly there weren't many, but they were like really small, tiny issues, which were there, which never impacted the success of the project or the engagement per se, because it's very evident. It's a client engagement. It can't move on day to day without, if there are major issues, right? The client will shout and the client is going to just make a lot of noise about it. So it's just not possible. Not only that, we have been getting good reviews as well. So it was, in fact, on the other extreme. But this, it became a very nitpicky thing every day. And in the middle of all of that, my personal struggles were also like going on. So I received this mail from him and I'm like, I look at it, I don't see it, I don't read it. I started hearing the voices, I could see this guy and his mouth going, I can't enact that way, but really like shouting. I could hear the sounds. And I was getting really pissed and I was really getting very irritated. I don't know, I've never checked my BP at that point in time, but I used to feel, that gush of blood. And these are like very, very, very trivial matters, nothing to even talk about. So there is this guy coming after sabbatical, wanting to prove himself, wanting to re-establish himself and go for the next grade. Okay, so this is probably my assumption, but I could really see that, that aggression in this person. And like I said, the account was doing really well. It was supposed to be a 1-year account, but the account, we went into a 3-year deal as a result of all our work. We went into a 3-year deal. But since I thought I really don't want this lack of, I don't want to be feeling this way, all irritated for nothing. For if there was something and some error correction has to be done, I'm all up for it. But for nothing, I really didn't want to get, very agitated and feel all down and low. Not that low. I'm not someone who goes that low in the midst of anything and everything. I still stand, firm. That's just how I am. So, but I just thought, I should go to bed and have a good sleep, and not this guy's email coming in the middle of the night because our time zones are different. And then I hear this guy, screaming. Yep. So I decided, in spite of winning the 3-year extension, and that really helping me in my growth as well, right? I decided. So I know my kitty, it's going to be enhanced. I already have a good book of account for the next 3 years. I decided to exit the project, and I started bargaining for that about 2 or 3 months. And my management was not very willing to let me go at that point in time, because training another person, and I was there right from the start of the account. So they were like, can you hold on? Can you hold on? We'll work out things one by one. At one point, seeing one mail of this guy, I sent a mail out after a little bit of thought. Maybe I think we'll get you a replacement. I've already requested for that. Hope that works well. And that's it. And I just exited the account gracefully. And that was probably my last mail. Whenever any mail was addressed to me after that, I decided not to respond. I decided, well, it's not that I washed off my hands. I was there in the account for another 2 months, just like in any other, when you move organizations, you have a 60-day notice period. I stayed there in this account, trained another person up, and then gracefully exited. But the point is, very clearly made everyone know that I'm really not going to stay for all of this politics. It's just not me. And this was my, like we term in the Iron Lady community, what do you call that? Unexpected, response. Nobody would have expected me to build up that account, go make it from a 1 year to a 4 year account, and then exit just like that. That to about 2 months of the deal getting closed. Yes, but I wanted to have a good night's sleep. I wanted to be my authentic self, and I just didn't want to fake it, and I just didn't want to keep dragging my feet to work. So that is a decision that I took. And I knew that for the next 2 months, I'm going to find it difficult to sort of be where I should be. So I'm in an industry, I'm into consulting, where we are paid by our clients, on an hourly basis. So you have to have a certain utilization percentage. So if we work 9 hours a day, and maybe we all have targets depending on our levels, how much you should be utilized. I knew that I'm just going to have that utilization issue. I just thought that's fine. I weighed all my options. I understood all the pros and cons. Maybe it's going to hit me bad. I just thought I still need peace of mind. Thankfully, at the point that I decided that I'm quitting my project, it was a strong mail. It was a very strong, simple mail, but it was definitely assertive. I think the tone was clear, everything was clear, and nobody then asked me to stay back. I was like, if because of this, if I'm going to lose my job, yeah, I really don't know. I'll have to face it. I'll have to see. But nothing of that sort happened, and I went through a lull, which is when I thought, days of pandemic, there is nothing which is certain in our lives, and wherever you can have a plan B, it's good to have a plan B, which is when, well, as a team lead, as a manager, as someone who was into service delivery, working across time zones, obviously you will have people to manage. Obviously you have careers to manage. Obviously you would have, done some workplace coaching, but I thought, why not have a tag to it? So that is when I entered into the line of coaching. And I trained myself up. I'm a certified coach. I'm into emotional intelligence. I'm into organizational development and anything workplace. And I'm an NLP practitioner as well. So all of this happened in the last 2-3 months for me. It's been about 3 months to be precise, with about 100 hours of coaching under my belt, which means working really hard, even though there was a lull. I was out of one project, but I had my other projects going on and the firm commitments as well. But yeah, I thought, I need to sort of balance before my other project, which I knew would start somewhere in April, started April mid, just in time that I completed whatever I planned, right? So where am I right now? Feel quite peaceful that I do have an alternate career option. In this day and age, I'm looking right, left, I see people downsizing. I see people taking cuts. I don't think I'm at unrest because I do have another career option. So all I want to say here is respond and not react, right? So though this is a very nagging experience, when you go through it, you'll know it's nagging. Especially you are already disturbed, especially you already have a shitload of burden, let me put it just that way, on you. So that's, a little too much for, you to take. All I would say is see how you can break those deadlocks and move forward and respond and not react. And always be true to yourself. Just because you have few things to take care, you don't need to compromise your values, your ideals, your principles. I don't think you need to do that. That is what I did, and so far so good. And yeah, let's hope it works.
Thanks a lot, Midhu, for this sharing your experience. And I think I can relate to one quote with you, which is, failure is not the opposite of success. It is a part of success. So as we, move through our goals and objectives, we all tend to face. And if anybody from the audience have questions for Abhirami, Midhu, and Rimjim, please write in the chat box, or maybe you can unmute yourself and ask from these. And thank you so much, Midhu and Abhirami, and once again, Rimjim, for sharing your wonderful experiences with us. I am sure every story it inspires us. There is a lot that we all can learn from each other. And thank you, Pushpalata ma'am. Thank you, Rajesh sir, for giving us this opportunity to share our experiences and to giving us this platform where we can actually, share. So I can see, okay, so people are thanking Abhirami, Rimjim and Midhu for sharing the wonderful experiences, and every experience has a learning, and you all are very inspiring ladies. Keep shining. That is the message that all of you have.
Hi, Mansi. This is Sharmili here.
Yeah, hi,
I
Sharmili.
have a question for, I have a question for Abhiram. Actually,
Yeah,
the same thing, I cannot come in, so I cannot come in video right now, but I just wanted to ask a question. Actually, whatever she told, the same thing I can resonate to myself. So recently what happened, like I'm in a company from last 11 years and where I am in my comfort zone. And I think last 6 months when I went through the Iron Lady program, I thought of to change the company, and but I didn't put the resignation. I was just did my certification wherever the project I was. I even spoke to Rajesh on that. So I was not in a good role. So when this before I was even though I'm a manager, they have put me in a project where like I was have to work like a SSC kind of like role. So I think around June I was into that project. So I spoke to my senior manager and I went till MD level, and I just got out from that project. Okay, I think by October, no, this December I just get out from that project. I did some certification too, and when I came from that project, I told clearly what is my passion, where I wanted to work. I told to my senior director over there, like I wanted to work on cloud, because before I was working on the like a cloud manager. So I clearly mentioned to him, but what he did is he just put me in another project, saying that you will get a role, very good role, and it's coming up. But when I joined that project, it was even worse. Okay, so I joined the project, and the senior managers, he convinced me, saying that we have a role. But it's been 2-3 months, I think. During this time also, like they have given me very bad role, and I was not at all happy with that. Due to that, I was having like mental health condition, like so much of things. But when I decided, okay, I wanted to speak to the senior manager on this, why they have given me this role, even after speaking to the senior director on this. So before doing that, my current manager, she spoke to the senior manager, and they both called me, and same way, like her, I don't know who told told her, but someone told me, like you are like a stone. Okay, after serving a company for 11 years, one of my, if they're telling like you are a stone, and now they have just did the session to me, and after 1 hour they are telling like you are a stone, and we are now, we have polished you, and now you will be become a diamond. Then I thought, okay, why should I show my whether I'm a stone or diamond? Why should I show you? Obviously I will show that outside. If I'm a stone, why should I like stay in this project? And after 5 days only, on Women's Day, I have I told that even in my LinkedIn local session, I put my paper, even without an offer, I put my paper on Women's Day. Okay, when like they have sent a recognition mail to everyone in the project, but they didn't send to me. So I felt very bad, and I just put my paper without offer, and I told her, see, I am putting today paper, and within 10 days I'll get, and I will show you. And even I got a offer. But now the problem is, like till my senior like who is my Accenture senior man, not senior manager, I'll say MD for like for 10,000 people, who is the inclusion diversity head, Ruhi Ranjan. She was even trying to keep me in Accenture, and the role which I got in a different company, that is, even though it's a 30 to 40% hike, but it's a small company. So my question is whether I'll stay back here, or I will move out.
Generally, on a personal front, what I would say is, if I were you, okay, what I
Yeah.
would do is, once I go against, first of all, I won't go against the management. Okay, I will
Okay.
have my plan B or plan C, whatever I'm doing. I will paddle like a duck. I will do my things underground. I will not show no upfront. That's what I would have done. But you have upfront confronted the management, and it has gone up to higher level. See, managers are manager wherever you go. Okay, even if in your team, if somebody is doing something, okay, like this going against management, you as a manager would report that to another manager, right? You just in a call, you say, ah, that guy is like that. Same thing will happen for you. From if you ask me, or if I am you, I would take the new offer and start a new thing, new beginning. That's what I would do. I won't stay with my current organization who has disrespected me to the core. I will not.
Thank
If
you,
ask
Abhinami.
me-
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thank you.
Abhinami. Thank you. Thank you.
So you can
Naveen,
take
for
other
asking
suggestions
questions.
also here, because all of
Yeah.
us, no, some point in
And-
time they would have gone such thing, but I
and
would say I will not stick with the organization.
we
and
all
take the
can
new
connect
offer.
offline. We can make use of the platform that we have been provided with, to have a detailed discussion on this. I think in the interest of time, we'll have to call it off for today. And I wish you all the very best, all the Iron Ladies. And once again, thank you, Rinchin, thank you, Abhinami, and thank you, Midhu, for sharing your experiences. Thank you, Rajesh, and thank you, Pushpalata ma'am, for giving us this opportunity. Bye-bye. Good night.
Thank you, Mansi.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thanks,
Good night.
Nancy.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thanks everyone for joining. Bye-bye.